All right, picture this. The skies are deep orange with the sun hanging low over the African savanna. There's a hush in the air, a silence so thick you could cut it with a knife. Suddenly, a rustle in the bushes. Every head turns. The tension is high. This is what draws people to the African wilderness. The thrill of being close, dangerously close, to some of nature's most powerful hunters. Africa's wild animal hunts and safaris have captured the imagination of adventurers for centuries. Today, we're diving into that world. Get ready to explore the grit and wonder of wildlife in Africa, from majestic lions to stealthy leopards and the thundering power of elephants. And trust me, each animal has its own personality, its own quirks, and its own survival tactics. Out here, it's a game of wits, agility, and sometimes sheer muscle. Let's set the stage. Africa is a continent that spans thousands of miles, with ecosystems as varied as they are vast. From the golden plains of the Serengeti to the wetlands of the Okavango Delta, the landscapes are as much a character in this story as the animals. Every square inch is filled with life, often hidden, sometimes silent, but always poised for action. These are lands ruled not by human laws, but by the ancient rhythms of nature. So, why do animals hunt, and how do they do it? Let's start with the king himself, the lion. Now, lions aren't always as regal as they seem in photos or movies. They're actually pretty lazy. They'll snooze away about 20 hours a day. But when a lion decides it's time to hunt, things get serious fast. A lion hunt is the very definition of teamwork. Lionesses in particular are the primary hunters, often working together in groups to take down prey. They'll stalk quietly, getting as close as possible before launching into a full sprint, an explosive burst of power that's jaw-dropping to see in person. The trick for lions is stealth. They don't have the endurance to run for long, so they've got to get close enough to make every second count. You'll see them creep, inch by inch, every muscle tense, eyes locked onto their target. When they're ready, they'll coordinate the attack. Some lions will rush the prey, while others cut off possible escape routes. It's all over in seconds if they succeed. A burst of chaos that leaves dust hanging in the air. But here's the thing. Lions don't always win. Prey animals like zebras and wildebeest have evolved some impressive tricks of their own. Zebras, for instance, are faster than lions over longer distances. And wildebeest are incredibly unpredictable, often running in zigzags that confuse their pursuers. It's a constant game of strategy, a clash of brains and brawn. Now, for those who really crave the thrill of the hunt, there's the elusive leopard. Leopards are the ninjas of the animal world. Unlike lions, they hunt solo, relying on their stealth and patience. You'll find a leopard perched high in a tree, scanning the terrain below with an intensity that's almost unnerving. When a leopard strikes, it's swift, silent, and lethal. And here's an interesting tidbit. Leopards don't eat where they hunt. They're the only big cats known to drag their kills up trees, away from scavengers like hyenas. Imagine the strength it takes to haul a gazelle up a tree. If there's one lesson leopards teach us, it's the importance of being resourceful. In the wild, a meal doesn't come easy, so when you have one, you protect it at all costs. Safaris. The art of watching and waiting. Going on safari is more than just sitting in a jeep hoping to see a lion or elephant stroll by. It's about learning to read the landscape, to listen to the faint rustles and calls that might mean something's lurking nearby. Safari guides are masters of this. They know the calls of birds, the patterns of animal tracks, and even the scent in the air that can signal a nearby predator. Imagine this. You're out on a morning safari drive. The air is crisp and the grass glistens with dew. Suddenly your guide spots a faint track, a paw print in the mud. It's fresh. You hold your breath as the guide follows the trail, pointing out broken twigs and trampled grass along the way. Then, there's a soft rustling up ahead. The guide signals everyone to be still. And there, just yards away, a young cheetah emerges, her coat gleaming in the morning sun, her eyes scanning the horizon. Cheetahs are built for speed. Watching one in action is like seeing a race car fly down the track, except this race car has 4 legs and can turn on a dime. They don't have the stamina to keep up a chase for long, so they rely on sheer velocity. Watching a cheetah hunt is a reminder of the elegance of nature's design, each muscle working in harmony to propel it forward, eyes laser-focused on a sprinting gazelle, every step measured, every movement precise. But it's not always about predators. One of the most unforgettable experiences on safari is seeing elephants. These giants roam in herds, led by the oldest female, the matriarch, who has decades of knowledge stored up. She knows the paths to water, the best places to find food, and how to protect her family from predators. Elephants communicate with deep rumbles and subtle gestures, each interaction a reminder of the bonds that hold them together. Conservation efforts, safeguarding a delicate balance. Of course, the thrill of seeing these animals in the wild comes with a deep responsibility. Many of Africa's iconic animals are endangered due to habitat loss, poaching, and climate challenges. Safaris today are part of conservation efforts that aim to protect these incredible species while allowing people to experience their majesty up close. There's something incredibly humbling about standing just feet away from a creature as magnificent as a rhino. But poaching has put them at severe risk. Conservation groups are now using innovative technology. Everything from drones to satellite tracking to monitor rhino populations and protect them from poachers. You'll hear guides talk passionately about these efforts, often sharing stories of animals they've known for years, animals they've fought hard to protect. The relationship between conservationists and the animals they protect is nothing short of heroic. Many spend years, even decades in the bush, learning the habits and personalities of individual animals. Some conservationists will tell you about how elephants recognize them, or how they've been able to track a single leopard for years. For these people, the work is personal, and every animal saved feels like a victory. The circle of life. One of the most incredible aspects of the African wilderness is the way everything is connected. Predators, prey, plants, and even the weather play a part in a balanced, interdependent system. A lion hunt might mean a meal for scavengers like hyenas and vultures, who clean up what's left behind, keeping the landscape free of decay and disease. And when elephants knock down trees, they create open spaces that smaller animals rely on. It's a delicate cycle, one that has existed long before humans set foot in these lands, and hopefully one that will continue. But the reality of safari isn't just heart-pounding chases and tense standoffs. It's also moments of beauty and humor, like a group of young lion cubs playing with each other, unaware of the fierce world they'll soon inherit. Or a family of warthogs trotting along, tails up in the air like tiny flags. And In the quietest moments, there's a feeling of awe. Standing beneath a vast African sky, listening to the distant roar of a lion, the song of unseen birds, the laughter of a hyena pack. It's a reminder that out here, we're not at the top of the food chain. We're guests in a world that has its own rules, its own pace, and its own raw beauty. A call to preserve the wild. As thrilling as it is to experience this world, we have to ask ourselves, how can we protect it? For many people, visiting Africa's wild places is a life-changing experience. There's something about the wilderness that stays with you, that reminds you of your place in a much larger picture. Many of the world's wildlife reserves and parks depend on responsible tourism to fund their operations. The fees that safari-goers pay contribute directly to protecting animals, restoring habitats, and educating the local communities that coexist with these creatures. When you go on a safari, you're not just a spectator, you're an essential part of the conservation effort. In recent years, more travelers are opting for eco-friendly safaris that have minimal impact on the land. These eco-safaris prioritize sustainability, use environmentally friendly lodges, and limit the number of vehicles that enter protected areas. It's a small but meaningful way to ensure that future generations can also experience the wild beauty of Africa. At the end of the day, a safari is more than just a bucket list adventure. It's a chance to reconnect with a primal part of ourselves, to remember that life isn't about constant comfort and convenience. There's value in patience, in respecting the rhythm of a place, in being present. Out here, life is stripped down to its essentials. It's raw, unpredictable, and sometimes ruthless. But it's real. So the next time you hear that call to adventure, think about the savanna, about the stories waiting to unfold in the tall grass under the African sun. Because out here, every animal, every blade of grass, and every gust of wind has a story to tell. And in the end, it's our responsibility to make sure those stories continue, untamed, unbroken, and wild. Please support our channel by liking this video and subscribing for more amazing content.